Hello and welcome to this next part of Super Danganronpa Another 2. We are in the middle of the third class trial. Kanade has been the scapegoat for now, but thankfully Shobai finally graced us with his much better opinions on this.
Yeah, Shobai was like, y'all blaming just Hibiki? Nah, I don't feel comfortable leaving my life in y'all's dumbass hands. Listen up.
So yeah.
Anyway, on to the nonsense.
Yep. What's up with you? Always carried by us and now you're suddenly here to run things?
Yeah, you were doing fine before, and now he's like, okay, all of you are in. Never mind, my turn.
Careful, he might be trying to distract us.
Shinji, shush. Pool gate records.
Sora?
Wait, the reason we focused on the ghost house was because Setsuka's dead body was found there. And the gate records had an ID without an out record, right? So? There's another attraction with an ID that has out records.
Really?
It's the pool. Everyone please look at this. These are the pool gate records for today that I've taken notes of. Huh? You're right. The person who entered it for 1724 NU30D2 has no out records. What's going on?
That's weird. There was no one there when I went there.
Oh, so the person that entered at 1910 and left at 1915 was you. And you were searching for Setsuka, right?
Yeah, I went straight to the pool as soon as I entered Block C. But according to these records, shouldn't there have been someone when I investigated there? But I don't remember seeing anyone.
Well, there was an ID with an out record at the ghost house, even when I didn't find anyone at the ghost house, remember? Also, it looks like there's a typo on the times here, so I have to be a bit more careful when reading them. Because she said 1925, it's supposed to be 1725. Could have been a hidden space in the pool like the ghost house, or... Anyways, it's true that the pool also has an ID without an out record.
I think it's just hidden by the text box. I see 19 shining through.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do see it down there now. It's just not important to the case, I suppose. But this is something we shouldn't just gloss over. Okay, yeah, there it is. Sorry, I knew it was suspicious, but Hibiki's reaction was so convincing that I... So you knew about this. Have you lost your mind? You knew this and let these idiots choose that brat as the culprit? I could say the same about you. Why are you suddenly helping us?
She's right. You always made fun of us.
You know, I'm a guy who tries to live his life as efficiently as possible. I can't allow any damages or any loss of resources with every action. If a problem can be solved without my effort, why even bother? But look what happened here when I left this in your hands. We're about to fail the trial, and you're going to cost me my life. All of my efficient philosophies are worthless when I'm dead, right? My own life is more important than any...
So what? How can we believe you?
Shinji, wait. Let's just let him do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, please let him save our asses.
Yeah, Shinji, please shush for, like, the time being.
Are you sure we'll be alright?
Shobai is the literal definition of self-centered. He only cares about himself. For him to act like this probably means that we're wrong. To be honest, I felt that something was wrong even before Shobai brought it up. Shobai, by failing the trial, are you implying that Hibiki's not actually the culprit? Of course, why the hell would I be talking like this if I wasn't? Be grateful, you all were just saved from certain doom.
I am grateful.
Thank you, Shobai. But don't worry, you can all pay up big time after this is over.
Oh, what's up with that attitude? You think you're smart? Kanat is much smarter than you. No,
Iroha, please don't
Iroha.
speak. Iroha, please don't speak. Please do not speak. Not for this trial. And the smartest girl here didn't even check the gate records of the other attractions. Heh, we're even more fucked than I thought.
The pool gate records? Of course I checked them.
Why didn't you bring him up? Oh, and yet you didn't object to all this.
Whether the pool has an out record or not, the body was still found in a ghost house. Isn't it natural procedure to focus on the crime scene where the body was found? Is it now?
Is it?
That reminds me.
What?
I am terribly sorry for interrupting, but I mentioned this to Sora, right? The pool today was closed during daytime. Does that have anything to do with...
What do you mean by that, bro?
Well, around 12 in the daytime or so, I went to the pool to take a break and work myself out. But it was sanitation time, so I ended up just coming back empty-handed.
Pool sanitation time?
There was a small sign in front of it. It said not to enter, and if you did, you will be punished by school rules.
Wait, I never heard about that. I guess I forgot to mention this, but the pool in Satsuki Land goes into sanitation once every week. During this time, all the water in the pool is drained, and there are a lot of chemicals involved. Oh, that's why there wasn't a lot of blood. That's like the perfect time.
Yep.
To kill someone there. Especially like, yeah, no, that's like perfect timing, because the chemicals would leach all the blood away, and it all just gets washed down the fucking... God damn, okay.
It's well
So
planned.
we keep everyone out. Yeah. If I don't mention the violating the rule part, someone might just barge in and get in danger.
Oh well, I guess no one would risk their lives to enter there.
But that's most confusing. I recall that today was not the day for pool sanitation. I shouldn't say this. A teacher should stay out of a class trial.
Thanks for that tidbit.
I love Monocro. He's a little more talkative. He's more talkative than good, but I love... I have a giant fucking plushie of him behind me.
What? So that means there was a picket even though it wasn't pool sanitation time?
Now do you get it? I was put there by the culprit. Why do such a thing? Simple. They had some very important business in the pool that required nobody coming in. In other words, Setsuka didn't die at the ghost house, but rather at the pool. Is that what you're trying to say, Shobai? Yeah, you were all wrong, and that girl's been spouting nonsense. Fucking expression.
The most threatening normal expression there is.
Shobai, wait. I understand that the pool also had an ID with an out record. Without an out record. That alone doesn't disprove that the ghost house isn't the possible place where Setsuka died.
What do you mean?
He's saying that Setsuka could have died in either places. Setsuka couldn't have been in two different places at the same time. Shut up, I'm going to explain why the murder couldn't have happened in the ghost house. You, albino. Pull out the gate records of the ghost house again. Don't order me around, though I will show the records. So by your little theory, the person who went out at 1757 is Setsuka Chiabukuro, right?
'Cause that's the ID that has no out record.
And the WN whatever who entered at 1755 and left at 1942 is the culprit. So that would mean that at least up until 1757, Setsuka Chiabukuro was alive. The culprit left at 1942, so she had almost 1 hour and 45 minutes to do everything she needed to do.
What about that?
Idiots. You think that time is enough to chop someone up like that?
Well, we never tried it ourselves, so...
Let me tell you ignorant brats something. It's impossible. You need at least 1 more hour. Especially in a case like this. What do you mean? I looked into the corpse. The edges were trimmed off extremely clean. They didn't just cut it. They stitched it up so the insides wouldn't flow out. Whatever it is, it wasn't their first try. It was the work of a pro amongst pros, I'd say. We have a serial killer on the cast. Excellent.
Yay.
As if there was such a disgusting professional among us. If there was, that'd be you. You're a criminal, right? You even stabbed Sora without hesitation on the first day here. Well, I guess I could do it, but that's all the more reason I can guarantee this. There's no way someone can manage such a task and listen to even for a professional. If anyone else said that, it would have sounded like nonsense. But coming from Shobai, a criminal on active duty, you do know how to persuade someone. Well, I entirely agree with you. It should be tough with just the dismemberment, but the crime doesn't end there. The culprit needed to care. I'm stuttering. Fuck. I always stutter with him. I'm so mad. The culprit needed to carefully put each body part on the pillar, create some room behind the folding screens, and in case someone enters, turn off all sources of light.
And in fact, Sora did enter there.
And turning off the lights is the final step. You can't dismember a body under no light. Since it's impossible to predict who will enter, it would need to be given a lot of time before they finally turn off the lights. But doing all of that in 1 hour and 45 minutes? Well, does it look possible now? It certainly does feel impossible, even excluding the dismemberment. And most importantly, blood traces were found, but no pieces of flesh were found in the ghost house.
Yeah, I mean, chopping up someone like that? Gotta lose something.
Yep.
And also there's still an entire piece missing from the scene.
The abdomen,
Yep.
which coincidentally, that's where the guts would be. Might be too. If he's mentioning that some of the pieces were stitched shut in order to keep the innards from falling out, I think the abdomen would take too much time in order to do that.
Could be. They could have somehow taken care of the flesh parts. Somehow.
Hello? Have you been listening with half an ear? I said that she had to take care of the insides. There needs to be cut off flesh ends lying somewhere around, which the ghost house didn't have. Now, if it was the pool, you could get rid of the flesh and blood by just drowning them in the drain.
If the killer didn't cut the body in the ghost house, then what was up with all the blood?
Right. I thought it would be natural to have that much blood lying around if Setsuka's body was cut off in that place.
If the killing didn't happen in the ghost house, then as Yoriko said, it wouldn't make sense for there to be trails of blood there.
Well, someone snatched all the blood packs.
And considering it's a large quantity, it would be wrong to assume that it would be spilt blood from moving the body around. So that blood is...
Terria's
I
account.
think the only thing that mentions it is Terria's account, yeah. The blood packs. Maybe the blood isn't from Setsuka, but the blood plaques from the infirmary.
The blood packs from the infirmary? But we don't have any proof that anybody used them.
Wait, I know! I saw them disappear! I told the Sasora, right? All the blood packs had disappeared just this morning. Yes, because of Terria's account, this is a sure possibility.
Oh wait, you even checked the infirmary items?
I believe that this was something only I could do, so I was going to try and cover as much ground as possible.
Boy, be working hard.
He always does. That's one thing I appreciate about Terry is where he lacks in the intellect department. He makes up with fuck, what is the word?
Legwork?
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Yeah, he makes up for work.
Teria, if you had noticed the blood packs being taken, you should have at least told us that. Do you not trust us that much?
Huh? Wait, did something happen between you guys?
We can talk about that later. That isn't the focus right now.
What do you think, Shobai? What do you mean, what do I think? Of course that's what happened. Oh, I didn't expect there to be a freak here that keeps records of all that.
Aw.
Why do you gotta be so mean to him? There was a bunch of empty blood packs thrown away near the ghost house. All the blood in the ghost house is fake. A small performance by the culprit.
But why go through the hassle of... To divert our attention to the ghost house. And sure enough, we all were focused on ghost house until Shobai stood up. Like Shobai said, even when we went over there last time, and about the fact that the place the body was found isn't necessarily the place where the person was killed, the shock factor to the scenery of the ghost house was enough for us to gloss over that.
If they had put in that much effort into the ghost house, to make us think that the ghost house was where Setsuka was killed, means that the actual crime had happened at the pool, not the ghost house. Uh-huh. It was a trick by the culprit to make you not even think twice about any place other than ghost house.
But to use all those blood packs, what if someone needs a blood transfer or something?
There's no need to worry about that. I'll make sure to replenish the stock after the trial.
Thank you.
Stark difference between game 1 and 2.
There's still more?
Well, the amount of blood used was a lot less than the actual amount of the blood packs taken. You call that a lot less? Let's just leave it at that for now. Maybe they miscalculated the amount of blood they needed. The important part that the crime happened at the pool. You all got that part, right?
Well, the only attractions that had IDs with no out records were the ghost house and the pool. And we just discussed the fact that the ghost house couldn't have been the place where Satsuka died.
If you guys had something called brains, maybe I wouldn't be doing this much. Man after my own heart. I've been saying this shit since the fucking start. Thank you, Shobai. Tell them, good god, I am so tired.
When did Shobai become the MVP of this trial?
Oh, he's been reserving the seat for a while. He just doesn't want to put any effort if it's unnecessary. That thing is smart after all. Probably even more so than Kanade. It's so unfortunate it only uses it for selfish gains. She's giving him shit.
Oh boy, Kanade is probably gonna counter-attack now.
You ready for vocal strain?
Oh boy. Kanade, what's wrong? I've been listening to you all this time, but you're quite a comedian, aren't you? All these contradictions, yet you stick to your delusions. Well, sure. Let's just assume that the ghost house wasn't the place where Setsuka died. Then what about the pool? Are you saying that the pool is a possible place? Is it not? Sora, the pool gate records?
Sorry?
The pool gate records. Show them to me.
You are playing her well. It's making me sorry, I have to like commend your performance there. Anyway.
You were again censored by the mic.
I commend how unnerving you are making her. It's making me squirm and I am grateful for it.
I am trying.
Yeah, you're doing great. All right.
We can ignore the last two records made by Hiroko when we were searching for Setsuka. Let's take a look at the ones before them. Whether it's the pool or the ghost house, there is an ID without an out record, and that's Setsuka. We're all on the same page on that, right? Then Setsuka's ID should be the one that entered at 7024. NU30D2.
Yep.
If you look at the gate records here, two IDs entered at 844 and 845 and left at 922 and 954 respectively. In other words, there was no one at the pool between 9:54 till 12:54. And we have only one suspect left. CN9FU3, who entered at 12:54. If Setsuka died at the pool, the person with this ID must be the culprit, right?
I guess so. What about that?
Should I said that the ghost house wasn't a possible suspect, as there wasn't enough time for the culprit, but a suspect at the pool, CN9FU3, only left 1 minute after Setsuka had entered. What? Well,
He's thinking. He's thinking.
But my dear people, you can all do a lot of trickery. But yeah, we need to figure this one out.
Yeah.
Now a quote from your own words, Shobai. Idiots! You think that time is enough to shop up someone like that? About 2 hours, maybe 1 minute. Even Setsuka died immediately upon entering. It would be impossible. But by that logic, it is impossible for both the ghost house and the pool to be the crime scene.
Wait, even if the pool was where Setsuka died, we found the body at the ghost house. Couldn't they just kill Setsuka at 7:24 and immediately leave with the body?
Difficult.
Difficult indeed. And also, you gotta think about how you're gonna transport that.
Yeah.
I see. After all, what do gates matter to a dead body?
So you're saying that the culprit somehow took care of the crime scene at the pool and left at 70:54, carrying Setsuka's dead body to the ghost house?
If the pool is the place, then this is the only way the culprit could have...
I'm sorry to inform you, but that is impossible.
How come?
The pool is at Block C, while the ghost house is at Block A. They're completely opposite sides of the park. Do you think anyone could walk that distance without getting caught? Carrying a dead body of all things? I have theory the culprit needed to kill immediately after killing Sitsuka, leaving no time for cutting up the body. Then we're back at the start, even if you somehow cheesed it and made it to the ghost house. It would be too late if you started dismemberment then.
Then what? Where did Setsuka die? And how did she end up like that?
This seems theoretically impossible.
Well, I admit that my first theory was debunked by Shobai. That means we have to start from square one.
No need for that. Crime is still possible even if we assume that Setsuka Chiabukuro died in the pool.
Really? Now, what nonsense are you on about? There's a clear contradiction here.
Bullshit. It's all possible if there's an accomplice.
An accomplice?
Shaba, you might not know this since you were always sleeping, but accomplices cannot exist. Even if there is an accomplice who helped the real culprit, only one person can win and escape. There is no benefit to becoming an accomplice. Shut up and just listen to me. Well, the older sister from the twins that you guys suspected, yeah, she's definitely not the Blackhand. That's for sure. But she did enter the ghost house and left the hairpin there, so it's hard to say that she is unrelated to this case.
So, you're saying that my sister is an accomplice? Wait! What's that supposed to mean?
You said it yourself, you don't have any memory, and you lose memory when you're in a pinch. An accomplice who helped the crime, but lost the memory of doing so? Don't you think that's too good of an opportunity to miss?
It kind of is.
Yeah, honestly. What are you trying to say? By my theory, the real culprit used the twin sis as their own crime. Give her a big mental shock or two, and then use her as an accomplice. Once the deed is done, the memory will disappear, concealing the existence of an accomplice.
Wait, Shobai, but that raises some questions. If that's true, then the culprit needs to know the fact that Hibiki loses her memory if she receives a mental shock. Who all knows this? Who all knows this, and also admitted that she was the only one who knew it from the start. Oh, that's interesting. Looks at Kanade.
Well, duh, that's why the person who knows that is the real culprit.
Someone who knew about Hibiki's secret used her as an accomplice? Wait, the only person who readily knew that fact was... Kanade Otanokoji!
Hello. What?
The only person who already knew Hibiki's tendency to lose her memories is you, Kanade Otanokoji. She is unnervingly calm.
Yes.
Ironic, ain't it? You're the one who revealed that fact. Congrats! You scored in your own goal. Kanade Otanokoji, she's the one who did it.
Wait a minute! Kanade is the culprit?
No, hold on, Shobai, as smart as you are, we still have over half a trial left, so I do
Yes.
not think it is this simple.
Yes.
But you got a problem with that?
Well, not exactly, but she helped us throughout the last trial as well.
By that logic, Emma also helped out during Yuri's case as well.
Wait, not everything has been confirmed yet. And we can't be sure whether there was an accomplice or not.
Shobai, why do you think these two are the culprits?
I mean, I know I did the trial by myself because we were about to die, if I didn't. But even so, you sure keep your brains only as decorations, don't you?
Hmm.
The reason why is Shobai is so fixed on Kanade being the culprit. Let's listen to what he has to say. Oh my god, are you gonna give me a non-stop with this bastard? Hold on.
Hmm. Missing abdomen. Okay, I am unsure.
Well, there are a lot of reasons to suspect. But first was in the state of the corpse.
The state of the corpse? The dismembered corpse, you mean?
What do you think was the cause of death?
I thought it was dismemberment.
We don't know about that yet, bro. The files didn't mention the cause of death. The file said that something sharp was the murder weapon.
So perhaps she was stabbed by a knife and then dismembered? Then she'd have some traces of being stabbed on her body.
Oh, was there none?
Every body part we checked, yet there weren't any traces of trauma on the body.
Then how did Setsuka actually die?
I see. Bruised corpse.
It is the missing abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that's where the fatal wound is.
Oh, yeah, that could also be it.
Yeah. Trust me, the bruises come in later for something completely different. Shobai must be suspecting Kanade because of some evidence. Let's look for a reason.
Don't know where it gets shot, though.
Yeah, something sharp. We could not. We could not.
It was there. Because I went and double checked, and just as I figured out where it goes, you had already smacked it.
I mean, once you know it's the abdomen, yeah.
Would you believe me if I said we're on trial part 9? Because we just finished up trial part 8. Why is this case so fucking long?
Okay.
Anyway. Wait, Nikkei, did you say that we searched through every body part?
Yeah, it was hard for my eyes to do it, but we managed to.
What you said just reminded me. It seems like every part was carefully laid on the altar, but that's not the truth. One part, to be precise, the abdomen was missing, right, Shobai?
What are you asking me for? The girl's right. The body is missing from the hip up to the part below the chest.
It was also written in the monorail file as well, if I recall correctly. The area around the stomach was missing.
Wait, the fact that they deliberately got rid of that part, that must mean there was some kind of clue in the abdomen area.
Ah, maybe they stabbed her there. They might have tried to hide the cause of death.
But why? I doubt there was a reason important enough for them to hide that.
There was, actually.
And what's that?
You might not know this, but the stabbing mark on a body is different depending on the hand that you... To be short, you can determine whether the stabber is right-handed or left-handed using the marks.
Oh.
And our twins are both. One does one and one does the other, if I remember right. I don't remember, but I think Kanade might have been the left-handed. One of them is left-handed. I don't remember which one.
Really? But what does that have to do with hiding the cause of death?
They say that only 10% of all people are left-handed. Majority are right-handed, and I reckon that this might be a likely situation amongst us as well. Now, what if the mark indicated that a left-handed person had stabbed the missing abdomen?
you're suggesting that the culprit is left-handed?
Kanade, I'm asking this just in case. What hand do you usually use?
My left hand.
I can't believe I remembered that. I'm so...
Hmm.
I'm like kicking. I'm so happy I remembered
Wait.
that. Bingo.
That was amazing.
You thought all that just from the missing abdomen? How in the world does your thought process work? He is an enigma.
There's one thing I would like to ask you, Shobai. How did you know Kanade was left-handed?
I mean, you can figure it out just by watching people.
Yeah, observation. Mm-hmm.
You did suspect her based on the fact that the culprit was left-handed, right?
That girl did some performance thingy on the second island, right? In front of the shrine? The guitar she used was left-handed. Yeah, that's that. Okay. You want to hear a nerd ramble real quick? Okay.
Oh, okay.
As a guitarist, there are, so some guitars you can play like it. You can just flip it depending on it depends on the build of the guitar. Some guitars are built having ambidextrous in mind. Mostly though, however, you have to get a specific build of guitar for left or right-handed. I am right-handed, so all of the guitars I own are right-handed aside from my acoustic, because most acoustics you can play if you are ambidextrous. Doesn't matter. However, Kanade plays an acoustic, plays an electric, which means it would have to be custom built for left-handed use. So what he just said is right. Most people would not know that unless you are a artist yourself or you are a music nerd. Anyway, moving on.
You remembered all that from that long ago? Wait, maybe all this time were you just pretending that you weren't interested in us, but in reality you were? Don't make me laugh. You might be under the impression that you have finally solved the case with your incredible intellect. But if we're talking about lefties, there are plenty of people here who are left-handed besides me. Like Iroha. Wait, what? Me? How did you know that I was left-handed? Wait, that doesn't matter right now. You always grip your pen with your left hand, right? How could anyone miss something that simple? And Shobai, you still haven't solved the contradiction of the gate records. You need to move the body from the pool to the ghost house in Block A somehow. Even with the inclusion of an accomplice in crime, that is still impossible.
I'm so sorry, Missy, but that ain't quite the case.
What?
Did you really think that I'd suspect you just from the stabbing marks? This is just a conviction. It's not like the abdomen was actually found and I had material proof of the stab wounds. I just tried to come up with a reason why the culprit had to go through the hassle of getting rid of that part.
Then how did you solve the contradiction of the gate records?
I'll go over them now. What do you think was the actual reason this contradiction occurred from both the ghost house and the pool in the first place?
Well, an alive person must use their handbooks in order to go through the gate. But since Setsuka didn't do that, and as she was dead, only the in records will get recorded.
So when we ruled out the places without any suspicious out records, only the pool and the ghost house were left. Think about that once more. Only the virtual ID gets saved on the gate records, right? You all assume the ID was Setsuka's just because it had no out records. So what? Just tell us already. Hasty, eh? To put it simply, all the gate records of the attractions can be manipulated.
Yep.
Of course, because he tested this already.
What? Wait! The gates already require you to use the handbooks to enter or leave. How in the world would you manipulate that?
Who said anything about using your own handbooks? Monocro never once mentioned that you have to use your own handbook. He just simply stated that you need to use a handbook.
Then that means...
Yep, you can use a handbook for another person to go through the gates. Don't lie to us. How does that make any sense? Well, it does. I tried it.
Huh. So when we first arrived on the third island...
This is a flashback that I don't feel like revoicing.
We remember anyway.
I caused some shit with Aroha and I threatened her and I took her fucking head. Paddled on me.
So the reason you took Iroha's handbook was to try that out?
Yeah.
Everyone, do you know what this means? It means that our basis of the gate records was wrong from the start. But even if what Shobai said is true, it only became harder or even impossible for us to identify who was who.
Nope. If you assume the gate records were rigged and reverse the thinking process, the case begins to unfold. My theory is this. Setsuko Chiabukuro died at the pool, and the time of death was probably around this morning.
Morning?
Give me the records again. I'll go over them one by one for you.
Please do, because this is the part that gives me a fucking headache.
Yeah.
It's this part of the case that gives me a fucking headache, and it's because I hate numbers.
As you said, Setsuko Chiabukuro went somewhere by the culprit's request, and that was the pool. Got that? If you look at the pool gate records, Setsuko Chiabukuro's ID was probably IS3JZ2.
Makes sense.
Who went in at 8:45. DJ6SX7, or should I say Mr. Kanade over there, entered at 1 minute ahead of her. That would mean Miss Little Sis left at 9:22, only 40 minutes to spare. And that's where the accomplice comes into play. I called out the twin sis as an accomplice, remember? 9:22 is exactly when she entered the pool. Using the handbook of her little sis.
I also didn't quite understand, because if she entered, then
It's
there
alright.
would be an in, right?
It'll go back. It'll go into it. Just give it a sec.
What is going on right now? I don't quite understand.
Me too.
This is how you can suss out who the brain cells are. Oh, I see. Kanade has her sis, who was waiting outside the handbook from the inside. One of them handed it over the gate. Does that make sense, Rina?
Ah,
Yeah. The gates only check if a human being passes through. Oh no, so objects don't matter.
Little shit was shown the corpse by the slightly littler shit.
I love this part of the game. I just hope I voice it right, because God.
And just as we were told, she received a mental shock and lost her sanity. Becoming the best crime tool ever. An accomplice that loses her memory. After that, the littler shit left the swimming pool at 9:54, setting up the pool sign so that no one will enter.
Oh, wait, what? I thought the old record at 9:54 was IS3JZ2. Wasn't that Setsuka? According to this theory, she would have already died at that point. Now that it's been confirmed that you can use a handbook that belongs to another, that would have been Hibiki using Setsuka's handbook. Yep, okay.
What about after that?
The littler shit came back at 12:54, carrying the tools needed to dismember the corpse. She used her own handbook at this time. After spending about 5 hours cutting the body up, they both left at 1724 and 1725 with the body pieces.
So basically, the ins and outs here don't matter because they were scanning certain books twice in order to manipulate who was going in and out, when really certain people were going in and out at the same time. That makes sense? Yeah.
Probably got rid of the sign at that point. Little shit throws the sign over the gate at 1724. Fucking numbers, I am so tired. And the littler shit puts the sign back in the swimming pool and leaves at 1725. It's as simple as that. Here, they can use their own handbooks at this time. Now, what do you think will be the end results of the gate records if we follow these steps?
I think it draws it out.
The end result? Well...
Oh. Hibiki used Kanade's handbook when entering the pool, right? And since Kanade's ID already had an in record, it would show an out record.
Yeah, that's the proper explanation. Thank you, Yuki.
So, when Hibiki left through the gates, the resulting output would have an in record.
I see. So that's how the pool had an ID without an out record. If we apply Shobai's theory, the actual reality of the pool gate records would be like this. And I think it draws it on there now. 844 and 845, those two records here would be from Kanade and Setsuka respectively. The out record at 922 was Hibiki using Kanade's handbook to enter the pool. The out record for 954 was Kanade using Setsuka's handbook to leave. And she entered with her own handbook with the tools at 1254. Finally, after she dismembered the body, both she and Hibiki left at 1725 and 1724 respectively. Here, even though Hibiki was already inside the pool, this was the first time she used her handbook on the gate, which resulted in an in output. Thus, the ID without an out record, NU30D2, was not Setsuka but actually Hibiki. Yeah, there it is. I am so glad they put that there because otherwise it's so fucking...
Yeah.
It's getting a bit complicated. Could you give me a simpler explanation? Sora's explanation was simple enough. You couldn't even understand that?
Well, she is an idiot after all.
Aw. It's true, but still.
But... Wait, I get that you're assuming that the culprit used the time between 2054 and 7024 to dismember the body. You would need ample time, after all. But it took 3 hours for the culprit to return to the pool from 954 to 1255. And you think that it would take 3 hours for me, the culprit, according to your theory, just to find the dismemberment tools?
Who cares? The signposts would have kept anyone out of the pool anyway. You have loads of time to spare.
He's not having it.
Yeah.
With these two. He's just not fucking having it.
Iroha, you said that you saw Hibiki enter the ghost house a bit before 18 o'clock, right? So that must have been 70:55 when they arrived from the swimming pool.
It must have been then that the twins moved the corpse to the ghost house. After all, the body was actually found there.
But how?
Come again.
I told you this before. How would you move from Block C to A without getting caught? The only thing Shobai deduced is how the gate records can be explained. Ugh, I skipped a line. But not what happened in the pool.
I think that was close enough anyway.
Even he doesn't know how the body was moved, right?
I know!
Yeah? Yeah? What is it? What is it, Rina? I want to know.
The dolls.
Good. Very good.
And probably the stupid train. I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, that part of the trial's annoying. It's fine.
She definitely has a point. The corpse had the head, body, both arms, hands, legs, and feet. 10 pieces all together. How would you manage to move them without getting caught?
First ever record of someone entering the ghost house was 1755. Since we have Aroha as a witness, we can surely say that it was Hibiki who entered at that time. But by Shobai's theory, the culprit left the pool at 1755, leaving only 30 minutes to move the body to the ghost house.
But how? But now that we know that there was an accomplice, it would take half the time and effort to move all the body pieces, right?
So, each carries 5 total pieces? Do you really think that's possible?
I'm sorry.
Maybe they had some sort of bag that had the corpse inside, you know? Like the ones in movies and manga? A corpse bag! And what if someone finds you? How are you going to explain it to them? What if they open the bag or something?
This really is the main problem. Forget the time constraints. You need to stealthily move the body without getting caught.
Ah, I just thought of an incredible solution.
What is it, Nikkei?
Monorail. We have the monorail that goes around each department in Satsuki Land. If they use that, it would take around 5 minutes from each department to department, and as a plus, you wouldn't be seen at all.
That's true. If you never got off, you wouldn't be seen.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Monorail. Sure, you can use the monorail to move without being seen. This and save time as well. But was it really possible for the culprit to use the monorails?
Not alone.
Timetable.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think so. It's all... It's only on, like, even times, right? But,
It's this one.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think what the contradiction is here.
They go into it once you present it. Nikkei, I'm afraid that's impossible.
How come? It's definitely a possibility.
No, by the theory we're going with, the culprit must have moved the corpses between 725 and 1755.
Yeah. And that's not... that's probably not when the monorail is in Block C. Or A. Which one? Ah!
It goes on even hour. It goes on.
Yep.
It goes by hour. So would have already left dock, I think, is the point here. Let's see what she says. If you see the monorail timetable, you will quickly see that the monorails weren't active at that time.
Ah.
What? Really?
Monocrow did say that the monorails were only active every other hour.
That's probably right. I was at Satsuki Land early for the 18 o'clock parade, but I don't recall seeing any monorails pass by.
Monorail. Yeah, that's right. Nosy, you've said it. She used the monorails. What? But didn't Sora just say that? Shut up and listen. First, she leaves the pool at 1725 and moves the pieces to Block C, monorail station. It shouldn't take long, right? She would be moving within the same department. She then leaves the corpse there and uses Setsuka's handbook to call the airhead girl out to the mirror mansion. Then the older sis moves to the ghost house at Block A to deliberately be seen entering the ghost house. By the bubblehead girl. She did it on purpose? Why do such a thing? Planting evidence.
Probably to accuse Hibiki as the culprit in trial. And we actually did so in the beginning of the trial based on Iroha's account.
Wait, why did you all think of me when you hear bubblehead girl?
Because you're very, 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 I mean, you are a bubblehead after all.
Mikado, why are you picking on Iroha?
You were
Because someone
too,
has to, dummy.
but she also did. In this trial
I know. Listen to me. There's several fucking reasons why I can't stand Yoriko, right? And one of them is because she is a huge hypocrite. Another is because a lot of the information she presents never makes any fucking sense as to how she would know it. And do not get me started on the fact that it's like, oh, but she's a hostess, she has a lot of shut the fuck up. No. You would not remember that much fucking trivia and commit it to memory. If you know anything about how the hostess like shit works, is like, yeah, you get them talking, but you're not paying attention to any of it. You're only doing so day by day to get them talking and to get them drinking. Shut the fuck up with that shit. Sorry. When people defend Yoriko, it pisses me off, and they do so every time with that information. And I always have a rebuttal for it. Anyway, moving on.
Why don't you pick on someone your own size, you worthless criminal? Go kill yourself.
Boy.
After you. Sorry, anyway. My broken hearts!
Would you shut up for 1 second? I'm trying to focus, damn it. First, 1755. The older sis enters the ghost house to cut the fuse and put out the fire to make the ghost house dark. Next, she has to hurry because there is another gate record only 2 minutes after she entered. Since she used Setsuka Chiyobukuro's handbook when she entered, she used her own when leaving the place. This way, 2 in outputs get recorded, and she leaves, no sign that she ever left the place. Y'all saw the parade together at 18 o'clock, right? Littler shit goes to see that, while the little shit goes to Block A monorail station. Monorail will start moving at 18 o'clock, so she rides it from Block A to C. And carries the body parts back to Block A through the monorail. This way, you'd be able to solve both time and stealth issue.
Amazing. It looked to be impossible at first, but now we have a clear grasp of what actually happened.
And so, what next? Continue.
There's not much left after this. Hide the body parts somewhere near the ghost house. And after confirming that white hair over there left at 1936, go inside the ghost house with the body. Here, you again, use Setsuka Chiyobukuro's handbook at the gate.
Since they used Setsuka's handbook when first entering the ghost house, resulting output would be an out record.
Exactly. Everything left is simple. Set up the corpse on the altar and create a pool of blood using the blood packs. And then it's finished. The newly reformed ghost house with an actual corpse. Whoa. Now the ghost house gate records until this point can be summed up like this. Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
Kanade's like, you're missing shit.
How was it? This is the result of this case. Kanade Otsunokoji as the culprit, and Hibiki Otsunokoji as the evidence. That can't be.
Honestly, if we consider Shobai's usual behavior into account, it's hard to trust him, but it's logically sound, and his reasoning is perfect. Kanade? Are you really the culprit? Did you really murder Suka? And I helped you without any knowledge of that? What should I do? I don't know what to do. Sis, don't cry. The beauty hack is just talking nonsense.
Got any rebuttals?
Rebuttal. Are you really thinking to yourself that you really cracked this case? Let's get straight to the point. You're completely wrong. Full of contradictions. Again. To marvel at the stupid of a theory. My, you all have questionable brains, don't you?
What? What part of it is a contradiction? I like how he's completely calm. I love how he's completely calm.
Yeah, he waiting. He waiting to actually
He's
hear an
just like-
argument.
He's just like, alright, let me hear your argument. What the fuck is it? Are you fucking done yet? Oh my god, get to the point.
As much as this theory has holes like it's Swiss cheese, the main problems are two big contradictions. Shobai, you told us that after leaving the pool, we left the body at the station and used the monorail to move to the ghost house, right? And remind us, whose handbook did we use when entering the ghost house?
He said it was Setsuka's.
And you think that's possible?
Isn't it possible? The culprit must have had her handbook ever since she was murdered.
Everyone, you might be able to pass through the gates using someone else's handbooks, but only handbooks that are active are valid in this case.
Ah.
Oh, he actually was got once.
Yep. This is like the one time you're gonna see it, though.
Shobai?
Shit's too complicated.
It's just something he didn't anticipate. Shit, you're right. I made a mistake.
I see. Even if you have Setsuka's handbook, only Setsuka herself can turn it on. Why does that matter? We had the same issue with Emma, but she used Kokoro's fingers. No, bro, that wasn't possible because Emma cut and kept Kokoro's fingers. Shobai specifically said that the culprit left the corpse at the station. According to this theory, you would never be able to turn Setsuka's handbook on at the ghost house.
It takes a long time to arrive at Block A from C even at running speed. Even if you use Setsuka's hand to turn the handbook on before you leave, it would be turned off by the time you reach the ghost house.
You're right. As we discussed in the last trial, the touchscreen's lock of sleep mode requires the owner's fingerprints.
Wait, speaking of Emma, why didn't the culprit use the method Yuki just mentioned? The method Yuki just mentioned? You mean cutting the fingers off and carrying them?
Impossible. Setsuka's wrists were cut off. Fingers were all fine.
And using just the hand?
I think using the hand would work just fine, don't you?
Yeah, I would think so as well. I mean, it's a less handy to haha, to take around with, but
You want to know something morbid? I just had a very morbid idea.
oh,
What else would you need to do in order for Hibiki to pose as Kanade? Other than just the hair clips, what else would you need?
well, petting.
Since they are a few cup sizes difference, would you say that maybe putting the hands there might help in padding?
My oh my.
It sure is a possibility, don't you think?
It sure is, but me oh my.
I mean, you could just carry those hands to turn the handbooks on.
Oh, that's probably not it.
Guess not.
Then we'd again have the problem of how to carry the body without getting caught. Even if the hands are small compared to the whole body, they still have considerable size, and you're doomed. If they bleed. There's Too much risk at hand.
I mean, yeah, bags. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they managed to luckily carry the body without getting caught.
Really? Then let's assume that the culprit somehow solved this issue, and let's go over the next problem. Can we really go over this issue that easily? Well, actually, we have a much bigger problem here. Shobai said that the culprit hid the body parts near the ghost house to wait until Sora left the place. And may I ask you where the place is? How in the world can you find a place to hide 10 body pieces?
He's so unamused. Oh, Shobai, I'm sorry. It is very amusing getting up on you for once.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a pile of body parts near the ghost house, anyone would have noticed it. It would seem unnatural if you hid it inside a bag. If you hide them separately, it would take time for the culprit to gather back the pieces. You're not really going to say that the culprit also managed to go through this with luck as well, are you? Well, if you are, we have our trusty Sora. She searched every nook and cranny near the ghost house, right, Sora?
Oh, yeah. I searched not only the inside of the house, but also the outside as I was leaving the place.
Behind the folding fan? I don't know. Because Sora did search the dolls too.
Yeah, she did.
So they couldn't have been there at that point.
Mm-hmm. If there was a corpse hidden near the ghost house, I would have noticed it right away.
Unless, of course, the culprit played 3D chess and placed them only in the very back of the dolls. Because no fucking one would try to search every freaking doll in that storehouse. No one. So that probably would have been a good place to hide them, though.
Oh, Rina, the solution to this case is it's something.
Alrighty.
No, wait. Maybe it's not the ghost house.
Hid it in somewhere else other than the ghost house. Oh, sure, bye. We searched every other place as well. Sora, Iroha, and I searched basically everywhere in Block A, so there are no other options, Shobai.
Dude, who do you think I'm suspecting here? If you're saying that you, who I suspect is the culprit, search Block A, I mean, do I really need to say more? What do you mean? She just has to hide the body in a secret place she searched in. She's the culprit, and all she has to do is say, there was nothing here.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Shobai. You're saying that the body was hidden at the complete opposite side of the park from the ghost house?
But
The place I investigated was that area, the storehouse, and beyond. I hate to break it to you, little Shobai, but that's a bit too far away from the ghost house, don't you think?
you little bitch!
Oh, wait, what was that? What about that? Is there a problem with being too far? We can move the body around when there's everyone running around in Block A, right? The culprit must have moved the body parts at least after Sora left the ghost house, which is 1936. According to the gate records, the culprit carried body parts 6 minutes later at 1942, right?
So that's it. If you hide the body parts too far away from the ghost house, you wouldn't be able to retrieve them within the next 6 minutes.
Sora even said she looked outside the ghost house. So she would have stayed there at least 1-2 minutes after that. So we would only have about 4 to 5 minutes to move the body parts. If you want to move all 10 corpse pieces within that limited time, you would have hid it somewhere close to the ghost house.
Hands are stuck.
Hmm.
Wait, So Miss Older Sis and Younger Sis are in together according to Shobai, right? So if they move together,
I told you. It's impossible even for two people. I would have to make 2 round trips even if there was an accomplice. Even in the case that we hid it in the nearest storehouse. It's impossible to make 2 round trips within 4 minutes. Unless you have teleportation skills, that is. Teleportation? Then does that mean Mikado is?
Wait, even the rules mention that I cannot use magic in murder. You do remember it, right? You haven't forgotten about it or me, right?
Then what is actually going on here?
Shobai, is there another way?
He thinking.
he's thinking. He's thonking. He's think-thonking.
See, they're all ignoring you because you made such an comment.
I think you mean they're ignoring you. Be quiet in the peanut gallery over there.
Oh, man.
Shobai's theory wrong. Kanade definitely has a point there. What kind of method did the culprit actually use?
Bum 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 bum. Gate records, fireplace, fuse box.
It's no use in trying to think of another way. That would be impossible to move the corpse. Ugh. I guess Shobai's theory was wrong.
Wait, that means the culprit actually managed to move the body without using the monorails? The only method to do so is just to hope for the best and not get caught.
I guess that's the only solution we have now. The gate records were rigged, right? In that case, the culprit stayed inside for 2 minutes inside the ghost house between 1755 and 57. They hid the body and then cut the fuse during that time.
It would still make sense. Sora might have missed the corpse as it was dark inside. After all, there were no other possible time that the culprit could have caused the blackouts.
Oh, that was hard. For the switching between those two, that's hard.
Let's try and find the contradiction from a structural standpoint of the ghost house. Can't afford to make the smallest mistakes. If we consider the structure, we might find who's right.
It's kinda difficult. This is a bit of a...
Oh, I see the problem. So they hid the body and cut the fuse during that time. And then use the ghost house fuse box? Okay.
This problem is kinda...
I think there's an issue in translation here, but I'm...
Yeah, because this is really hard to understand for some reason.
We're talking about structure, right? The only bullet we have that mentions anything remotely about structure is the fuse box.
But which weak point?
I think it's hid the body.
Could be. Ugh. It was right. Alright, let's hear it.
Yeah, now we'll get an explanation as to why. I think there's something missing in how that was all worded.
By the way, we are already recording for quite some time.
Yeah, it's fine. We can cut here.
Alrighty. Then we shall hear the explanation next time. So, until then, goodbye.
Bye.